Nobody had any suggestions. So I'm here on Reaper's website for the power palette. And we'll just pick a random file here somewhere. Yeah, that looks good. Upload the image source. Yeah, I think I can work with this. Let's see, got lots of nice purples, some nice whites, a little bit of blue over here on her arm. Got lots of yellows, pinks, and purples. Let's go with, let's go with deep red. I think that's good. Then let's go with golden blonde. That's a good one. We need one more here, and we shouldn't forget poor Miss Left Hand Nikki. We'll go with that one. Let's go with jade green. I don't have the HD turf green. Yeah, so let's use those three colors as our base. So, did I have you worried there for a second? Yes, I'm using Nicki Minaj as my color palette, but not really her. I've got, you couldn't see it very well in the video, but I've got a couple of the lights that are out of focus in the background, and then one of her gems on her necklace on the left. But let's go ahead and start with this. We're going to do jade green. And I'm just going to pretty much base coat that everywhere. I've already got it loaded up on my palette and shook up. And it is probably not going to cover very well over this brown liner. It looks like my paint is a little thin, but there's nothing I can do about that because it's straight out of the bottle. So this will probably be a multiple coat issue, so I won't bore everybody with every single brush stroke it looks like. But as we're painting here, I'm going to talk about the other two colors that I picked, Nikki picked. We're going to do the deep red. And the trick with that is to, well, can be the trick, is to not make it look Christmassy. And so it is not going to be a big color on here, so to speak. It's not going to be something I make a large area that color. It is going to be a spot color, which of course little missile tubes on the side are going to work really well with that. And I'm thinking what I could do is use the golden blonde, since it is a fairly yellow color, and make kind of a camouflage type of pattern on this CAV. I haven't completely decided yet. And the other thing I've done off camera, which is inconsequential, is I've actually glued it together. I realized after I finished in the last video, it's like, wait, did I glue this together? I didn't. So it's now glued together. I just super glue in all the joints. You can see a little bit right there. But quite often I will paint it in pieces and then glue it together, but we're just shooting for tabletop here. So Lost my train of thought there. I apologize. Man, I really did lose my train of thought. I was talking about having it glued together, having it painted. Anyway, so probably going to do a bit of a camouflage pattern. Might just take the golden blonde and kind of flick it around like little twigs. Maybe use the red on here, the little spots here and there. That might work because that deep red does look like it's got a lot of purple in it. I think going over the green, it's going to show up a little brown or a little black. Maybe I was talking about, well, I think I did that. Oh yeah. Paint them separately and then glue them together. I don't think I was going to mention much past that. I'm going to avoid that spot for now because it's probably still a little wet, but I did want to get this painting started. I think I will keep the tubes black, but I will touch-up paint those later, so I'm not worrying about getting green paint on the sides here. And I think that's kind of in focus. I tells you, man. But while we're painting here, I can't remember who, and I apologize. I probably should have written it down, but he put up some of his calves that he'd painted. And just brilliant work, but very, very beautiful figures. And he did a lot of shading, things like that. But if we're going to go with a camo, then I'm not sure any shading is really necessary. If I were shooting for the most beautiful thing in the world, yeah, maybe I should. It goes with all the little twigs and stuff that I'll have to paint on too as part of the camo scheme. I was thinking of painting these two red, but I think they just look like jingle bells, and so that's not going to happen. And of course tabletop, so I'm not worrying about seam lines or anything like that. It's really going to be a rush job, so we'll have at least something for the table later, which I might actually get family involved in. I've been wanting to play, and the CAV Strike Ops book should be coming out here fairly quickly. I know CAV Boss on the Reaper forums has said that it's due soon, but we all know how soon is. Anyway, I'm probably 10 minutes into this video total now, so I'll leave it at this. Zoom in on it if you can. There we go. So you can see, oops, oh, there's quite a bit of black showing through, so this is going to take several layers. Anyway, I'll cut the video here and get the base coat done. Okay, so that took a long time. This is the result of 5, maybe 6 layers of jade green. It just would not cover that black liner. And if we would focus. So there you can see you get fairly good. Notice I missed a little spot up there, but I'm really not wanting to go back to doing that. So we're going to go with some deep red. And I am thinking of just all these little bits and baubles that are hanging out, just painting them. My hope is that it'll actually stand out a little bit, but not too terribly. And this red that I've picked is not a very bright red, so it may take a lot of layers to go over the green because it's going to want to appear black or something. And I'm not sure I want to paint those. I thought about just giving it all up and just, let's just do a camouflage. I actually thought about just not continuing with this video and just saying, you know what, it's done, let's make another one. And since I went off on the side, let's go ahead and just paint the side there. You know, it's probably 2-3 weeks since I last recorded. Focus, are you? There we go. You know, all my free time was spent putting more layers on this. And the red doesn't look like it's going to be covering very well either. But that's just the way things are going to go here, I guess. So we'll just take it slow and just do a little bit at a time. Of course, now that I've got a good base coat on there, I guess I'm not as worried about having to clean things up like all those edges that I just touched. Oh, I guess I can. Well, no, I really want to go back over that with all black now. Got all the I was going to paint all the little missile things in red, but considering I've got a lot of green in there right now, I might need to rethink that. Not rethink it, touch up the paint. I probably should be using a smaller brush. This is the brush I used to base coat. So that was a Winsor Newton Series 7, number 2. Switch over to my Raphael 2.0. Maybe get a little bit better control on that. Can you tell it's been a while since I painted? Probably help on the touch-ups too. Won't be nearly as much to paint. Oh yeah, once you get the first coat on, that second one tends to be a little bit better. I just realized I did not do that little knob on the back there. Consistency. But you kind of get the idea. So I'm going to paint the rest of this offline. I'm not sure there's really any point in going through all the gory details. So, I'll be back in a bit and I'll show you all the little bits and baubles I've painted. Okay, so here you can see what I've got done. I did lots of little details there. Did some freehand stripes on the side here, polished that up. Did a little border around pelvis plate. Did a couple more freehand stripes, freehand stripe there. Did some freehand striping up there on top of the little missile pack. And I also went ahead and did the brown liner over the tubes again, the inside here, just because it looks black enough, and I did redo the cockpit like that. So now I'm going to work in the golden blonde. And I'm not entirely sure where I really want to put this. You know, I'm thinking it's too much paint, and I might just kind of put in a little border around any of the red stuff that I've done. That's absolutely not doing anything here. I may have the paint too thick. So anyway, just something like that. Focus here. It just hit me what this kind of looks like. Looks like a little dragon snout. Getting a little bit of water on the brush and the paint because it just doesn't seem to be flowing off the brush like I want it. There we go. That's not where I wanted to put it, but close enough. You know, something like that. I don't think I'll do it there, but I might do it down here on the little legs. A little stripe on the leg. That's entirely how I did all the freehand. Just little careful brush strokes. That wasn't very careful though. So, you know, something like that. I was going to do the top too. Let's see here. I don't want it to be as thick a line as the red. It's got a really bad shadow to it. Look. Something like that. Get a little more paint. Trying to think, maybe I don't know how that'll look, but some little golden blonde stripes on the shoulder here. It kind of breaks it up a little bit better. So let's see, I'll do the same thing, but I want the same angle. So it's top, back, bottom, front. Top, back, bottom, front. Top, back, bottom, front. So like that. Get some more water, a little bit more paint. And might do the same up here. And I think I will try to do that same little V pattern that I was doing. Maybe just put 3 little stripes in, and 3 stripes on the other side too. So, for that, I am going to call, I wanted to do a little bit of jade green touch-up, so let me do that. Or, no. Let's put in just a little bit of highlight. There's this bar that goes across the canopy. So I'm going to do that. A pure golden blonde. Got my other side here and lined up. Wash the brush off. More paint. And we get that. Call that good. So we'll go on to the base.